Good evening, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me with your emoji. I've been battling with network issues since. So please, I sent one YouTube link on the chat box. Can someone please send it to my private chat here, my WhatsApp, please? I need to forward it to the general group. The other link I'm trying is not working. So that's why. Can you please, someone should help me to send it to my WhatsApp now, please? Okay, thank you, thank you. So I just wanted to forward it to the general group for other people that through this Google Meet, so they can join through Okay, please confirm if you can see my screen, please. Okay, so sorry about that. Today is just something else. I've been trying to connect all this while, but the network is just something else. So let us begin. I just hope we'll be able to cover some parts this night because our time has fast spent and I just came back from work. I've not even rested at all. I've not even played. So this class might not extend till 9 o'clock. But however, we'll try as much as possible to see what we can do. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to another time for our advanced audit and assurance. So today we'll be moving forward to chapter 5, which is on practice management. My name is Olatoji Idris. So let us begin. Okay, so from what we have been discussing so far about advanced audit and assurance, I think I told some of my people on Saturday that this aspect we are just going through, we are trying to teach ourselves what to write. we are trying to teach ourselves what to write. That is the essence of all this chapter we are trying to review by ourselves. So during the revision class, we are going to explain to ourselves how to write. So there are two things you need in advanced audit and assurance. The two things can never be underemphasized. You need to know it. They are the key factor to the to pass advanced audit and assurance. First one is what to write. So this aspect of all this chapter we are explaining to ourselves, we are actually teaching ourselves what to write. Then another important thing is how to write. So you might know what to write, but you don't know how to write it. So it's still zero. So you have to know what to write and merge it together with how to write it. That is the key to pass advanced audit and assurance. Like I said from the beginning of our class, that this advanced audit and assurance, the chapters were linked together. So if you understand the chapter one by one, from chapter 1 to chapter 4, then we can proceed. So for the sake of this class, let me try and see to link all this chapter together from chapter 1 to chapter 5. Chapter 1 talks about the general overview of the general overview of advanced audit and assurance engagement as a whole. Then the chapter 2 talks about the ethical principle, the ethical environment that guide the conduct of any assurance engagement. That is chapter 2. So if you don't understand chapter 1, you will not know the ethical environment that guide the advanced audit and assurance. So chapter 1 talks about the general overview of advanced audit and assurance, while chapter 2 talks about the ethical environment, the environmental principle that guides the conduct of any audit and assurance. So chapter 3 now talks about the ethical principle. We now infer from chapter 2 that extend to chapter 3. We said chapter 2 talks about the uh, the general environmental policies that guide the conduct of any assurance engagement and the practitioner. Then we now improve from there to chapter 3 that talks about the professional behavior, the ethical principle we are expected to do, or the qualities we are expected to exhibit as a practitioner, as guided by the what? By the regulatory environment, which is in chapter 2. Now, after that, the chapter 3 now extend to chapter 4. Chapter 4 now talks about the responsibility of an auditor, which is the practitioner, and liability. That chapter 4 talks about the responsibility that an auditor must possess, or your responsibility as a practitioner while you are doing your audit and assurance engagement. And if you fail to do what you're supposed to do as required by the ethical principle, you are going to be liable. That is the aspect of professional liability. So this chapter 5 now talks about what are the things we need to put together as an auditor or as an audit firm to reduce the risk of professional liability. Chapter 4 talks about the responsibility of an auditor and liability. That is, if you fail what you're supposed to do as a responsibility, there will be liability. So, in order not to have auditor's liability or to reduce the risk of auditor's liability, then chapter 5 now comes in, which is practice management. The practice management now talks about what we are expected to put in place as an auditor, or an audit firm, to reduce the risk of auditor's liability that we discussed in chapter 4. Please, are we following the way I try to link all the chapters together one by one? Are we following? Please let me see your emoji. So if you are following like that, then you are trying to now understand the principle of what to write. Like I said, all these chapters were linked together, and you need to be very, very calm and open your mind wide so that you can understand this aspect we want to talk about. Practice management, the procedure, the strategies we need to put together as an auditor to reduce the risk of auditor's liability. So for the sake of this chapter, we have quality control. So quality control is now that strategies, the planning that an audit firm that can put together to make their work reasonable, to now reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. So if you reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion, definitely you are also reducing the risk of auditor's liability. So because of this chapter, the quality control is now divided into two. We have quality control by International Standard of Quality Control, which is ISQC1. That one give us the quality control that an audit firm must put in place to ensure that they reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. Then the second quality control is by ISA 220. That quality control now guides the affairs of you, me, that particular auditor, me as an auditor, you as an auditor. What are the quality control we need to put together in our own line of responsibility to ensure that to help us reduce the risk of expressing a correct opinion. Then we also talk about changes in professional appointment, the circumstances that can warrant an organization not to continue with the auditor that have been auditing their organization. Then as a new auditor, what are the procedure you need to follow if you are appointed as new auditor of an organization? Then we'll talk about the agreement to term of audit engagement, which is ISA 210. Then we also talk about the tendering, the publicity and advertisement, the low billing. These are the things we are going to explain under this chapter 5, which is practice management. Let us proceed as we dive into the chapter proper. Please, at every point in time, if you cannot hear me, please feel free. Let me see your emoji so that I will know where to start from and where to improve. So, quality control, which is practice management. The content of this class is quality control, which is ISQC, ISA 220 and ISQC1. Then changes in professional appointment, obtaining and charging for professional work, agreeing the terms of audit engagement as stipulated by ISA 210, then the chapter review. So this chapter review now talks about the laws and regulation on audit and assurance engagement. Everything is there. All the contents are thereby proceed there. So now, should the case of exam context, now see that this chapter continue the themes of practice management introduced in the previous chapter. While I was explaining, I said this chapter continues from where we stopped in chapter 4. Because chapter 4 talks about the responsibility of an auditor and the liability. That is, if an auditor fails to do what he's supposed to do, there will be liability. So, in order to reduce all risk of liability, there should be practice management, which is what we want to talk about here. So, this chapter continues the theme of practice management introduced in the previous chapter. You need to fully understand the system of quality control used in accountancy firm, incorporating both ISQC1, which is International Standard of Quality Control for the firm, and ISA 220, which is quality control by an individual. You also need to understand the commercial, legal, and ethical parameters around changes in professional appointment and the process of obtaining and charging for professional work. So at the end of this chapter, the reader, which is me, you, and everybody in this class, we should be able to discuss the following one. We should be able to describe the component of a system of quality control applied to a firm of accountant performing audit and assurance. Then we should also need to explain the process around changes in professional appointment, including the legal, the commercial, and ethical consideration. Then you should be able to apply ISA 210, which is agreeing the terms of an engagement. There comes the introduction. I've already explained the introduction before. Please confirm if you can hear me very well so that I can proceed. Okay. I've already explained. The introduction is nothing other than practice management, which has to do with the way and the method or the procedure adopted by either an audit firm or an auditor to ensure that its responsibility is optimally executed. That is that procedure, that method you adopted either by an audit firm or as an individual, that to ensure that its responsibility to its client are optimally executed. So how can you optimally execute your responsibility as an auditor? Is to put proper quality control. So what is that quality control? That quality control can be defined as those methods, the strategies, the procedure put together by an audit firm or an individual to reduce the risk of expressing an incorrect opinion, thereby helps the auditor in the following way. One, loss of client, reduce in loss of client, reduction in legal cost and damages, reduction damages to reduction in the damages to reduction in the damages to reputation of the audit firm and profession, and also reduction or elimination of disciplinary measure from audit professional body. This is what we are saying in essence. We said practice management are those methods that an audit firm or an individual need to adopt to ensure that their responsibility is optimally executed. So, how can you optimize your responsibility as an auditor? The best thing to do is to put in quality control. So what is now quality control? We say quality controls are those strategies, the procedure, the method put in place by an audit firm or an organization to reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. Full stop. However, by putting in standard quality control by an organization or an audit firm or an individual acting alone is going to help in the following way. One, reduce in the loss of client. Two, reduction in legal cost and damages. Three, reduction in damages to the reputation of the audit firm and professions. Four, reduction or elimination of disciplinary measure from audit professional body. So if we put in place proper quality control, it's going to help us to reduce the risk of expressing correct opinion, thereby helps the organization to achieve the following. One, there will be reduction in the loss of clients. If you put in what you're supposed to put as an audit firm or as an individual, there will be reduction in the loss of clients. There will also be reduction in legal cost and damages, which is liability that is going to accrue to the auditor if you fail to do what you are supposed to do. Then it's going to reduce the damages to the reputation of the audit firm. If you put in proper quality control, it's going to lead to reduction in the damages to the reputation of audit firm and profession. Then lastly, it's going to lead to reduction or elimination of disciplinary measure from the audit professional body. Please, are we following everybody? That is why I'm trying to take it one by one. Might not be able to finish this class this night, but I just want us to understand, because as I said, this concept of this class is to explain to us what to write in the exam, which is the first leg. Then, after all the chapters has been explained, Then we'll now proceed to how to write it, which is what we are going to be examining during our revision class. So now, if you understand from the way I put it from the introduction of practice management, and how I was able to link it to quality control. So let us proceed. And I said, this quality control, if you put in proper quality control as an individual or as an individual or as an audit firm, is going to help the organization, which is an individual or an audit firm, in the following way. One, reduction in the loss of clients. Of course, if you put in proper quality control, clients, you will not lose clients. Then secondly, it's going to lead to reduction in legal costs and damages. That is, when clients start suing you every time, if you put in proper quality control, it's going to reduce the legal costs and damages that customer is going, or your client is going to sue you for, because you are putting your best proper quality control. And thirdly, it's going to also lead to reduction to the reputation of the of audit, reduction to the damages, reduction in damages to the reputation of audit firm. If you put in proper quality control, it's going to lead to reduction in the damages of reputation of audit firm. Then lastly, it's going to lead to reduction or elimination of disciplinary measure from the audit professional body. So, however, we have two quality control procedure according to this chapter. So we can have standard quality control procedure in two ways. We have quality control for the audit firm and quality control for individual engagement. That is, what are the quality control that audit firm need to put in place to ensure that what are the quality control that an audit firm need to put in place to in order to help them reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. Then the second one is quality control for individual engagement. As an individual auditor, you acting, or you are the team lead in any engagement, what are the quality control you need to put in place also to ensure that you have reduced, or you have eliminate the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. These are the two levels of quality control that we have. Then, however, for quality control for the audit firm, it is stipulated by ISQC1, that is International Standard on Quality Control 1. That is, International Standard on Quality Control 1 helps or guide every audit firm to put in place quality control procedure in any engagement in order to help them reduce the risk of expressing correct opinion. I'm going to take it again. I said quality control for the audit firm is stipulated by ISQC1, that is International Standard for Quality Control 1. States that, or stipulate that, every audit firm must put in place quality control in order to help reduce the risk of expressing correct opinion. The second level, which is quality control for individual engagement, this one is stipulated by ISA 220, which is the quality control that an individual or a team lead in any audit engagement need to put in place in order to help reduce the risk of expressing correct opinion. Please, are we following the way I'm taking it one by one? Are we following, please? It's just one person that is giving me emoji. Are we following? Okay, so let us proceed. Now, quality control for individual firm. There are about 7 to 8 procedure that an audit firm need to put in place in accordance with ISQC1. We have 8, and I'm going to list them before I show us. Number 1, we have leadership responsibility for quality control. Then number 2, we have the ethical requirement. Number 3, which is A, we have sorry. So number 3, which is A, we have acceptance and continuous engagement. Then number 4, we have documentation. Number 5, we have human resources. Number 6, we have engagement performance. Then number 7, we have monitoring. Please, can you see my screen? Everybody, as I scroll down, can you see the 8 quality or 7, the 7 quality control procedure for an audit firm? Can you see it, please, on your screen? So let us proceed. I will explain again. I said the quality control, maybe it's your network. Blessing, if you are seeing the introductory page, I think it is your network, because others can confirm that they can see the 7 quality control procedure for the audit firm. So it's your network. Okay, so let us begin. I will explain this aspect again, and I'm going to link it one by one so that we understand it very well. Now, I said the 2 levels of quality control that we must put in place either by an audit firm or by an individual engagement. We just have 2. One is stipulated and regulated by ISQC1, which is International Standard on Quality Control. That one goes to quality control procedure for the firm. The second one is quality control for individual engagement. That one is stipulated by ISA 220. So furthermore, the quality control for the audit firm is stipulated by International Standard on Quality Control, which is ISQC1. This ISQC1 stipulates and recommend that every audit firm must put in place proper quality control procedure in their firm in order to help them reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion, and also thereby lead to the following important or the following end product of expressing of putting in good quality control procedure. I'm going to say it again. I said quality control procedure for the firm is stipulated by ISQC1, which recommend and stipulate that all audit firm must put in place good quality control procedure in order to help them reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. So by putting in proper or good quality control procedure by the firm, it's going to help them in the following way. 1, reduction in the loss of clients, as we said before. 2, reduction in the legal cost and damages. 3, reduction in the reputational damage to the audit firm and profession. And lastly, reduction or elimination of disciplinary measure by the professional body. So ISQC1 stipulate that audit firm must put in place proper quality control procedure. So however, how can organization put in place, or how can an audit firm put in place proper quality control procedure in accordance with ISQC1? Then however, ISQC1 now says that quality control audit firm can put in place quality control procedure in the following elements. 1, the leadership responsibility for quality control. 2, the ethical requirement. 3, acceptance and continuous engagement. 4, documentation. 5, human resources. 6, engagement performance. And 7, monitoring. So there's acronyms for this quality control for the firm. You can put lead M, lead M, which is LEADHEM. The L start for leadership responsibility for quality control. The E is the ethical requirement. The A is acceptance and continuance of engagement. 4, which is D, is documentation. Then the H, which is human resources. Then the E is engagement performance, while the M is monitoring. So the acronyms for this ISQC1, which is quality control for the firm, is summarized as lead M. So let us proceed. Let me now explain the 7 elements of quality control for the firm as stipulated by ISQC1. Please, are we following? Please, are we following everybody? Please, do you have any question before I proceed? Any question at all? If you have a question, please, in next 2-3 minutes, please put up your hand. Let me hear you. Then we'll quickly answer ourselves and move on. But if there's no question, please let me see your emoji so that I can proceed. It means that you are following. Okay, thank you. So these 7 elements of quality control for the firm are stipulated by ISQC1. They are very, very simple. Now, let me now explain. For the first one, which is leadership responsibility for quality control, if you want to write it and you've listed the 7 and you want to explain, you said this is how to go about it in the exam. You said, according to ISQC1, which is quality control for the firm, it stipulates that a firm should put the responsibility of quality control procedure is charged or is shadowed with the people in charge of the what? Of the firm. That is, the quality control procedure in accordance with ISQC1 is placed in the hand of the leadership of that particular firm. That is, the people in charge, which is the audit partner or the management partner of the organization. Their responsibility is to ensure that they put in place proper quality control procedure in order to help the organization in reducing the risk of expressing incorrect audit opinion. What we are saying in essence is that the responsibility of quality control in an audit firm is placed in the hand of the leadership of that particular organization. That is placed in the hand of the people in charge of the governance of that particular firm. And who are the people in charge of governance of that particular firm? They are the management partner, the directors, or the what? The or the senior partner, as the case may be. These are the people charged with the responsibility of governance in that particular firm. So it is their responsibility to ensure that they put in place proper quality control procedure in order to help the firm reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. That is according to ISQC1, which is International Standard on Quality Control. Please, are we following the way I explained that one? Are we following? I will say it again, that is, the leadership responsibility for quality states that, according to ISC1, that is, that the responsibility for quality control in an audit firm is charged or placed in the hand of the people charged with the governance of that particular organization. So, Stephen, you have the floor just for a small this thing for just 2 minutes, please. Let us hear you. You have the floor, please. Please be fast about it. This is already 8 o'clock. Stephen, you raise up your hand. Please, you have the floor. You have the floor. I've unmuted you. Please, you can talk now. Hello. Okay. So please, you can put down your hand. I will assume that you don't have any question. So please, everybody in this class, please, are we following? I hope we understand the leadership responsibility for quality control. Now, let's go to the ethical requirement. Also, if you want to explain this, you said in accordance with in accordance with ISQC1, which is International Standard of Quality Control 1, it says that the organization must follow, or the auditor must follow, the ethical requirement, which is the standard put in place by the profession. That is, the audit firm is the audit firm has that responsibility of following the ethical requirement in any professional engagement in order to help them reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. That is, ethical requirement here means that in accordance with international standard on quality control 1, it stipulates every audit firm to ensure that they follow the ethical requirement guiding the profession and guiding the conduct of any audit assurance engagement, as the case may be. So, to ensure good quality control, that is, the firm has the responsibility of following the ethical regulation, ethical requirement, and ethical standard as stipulated by the what? By the professional body. So by following the ethical requirement, it's going to reduce the risk of expressing correct opinion. So ISQC1 ISQC1 stipulates every audit firm to follow the ethical standard and requirements guiding guiding every audit and assurance engagement, as the case may be. If they put in quality control and they follow the ethical requirement and standard as stipulated by the what? By the professional body, it's going to help them reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. Please, are we following? Making how many? 2. Please, are we following very well? Now, the third one, acceptance and continuous of engagement. What does ISQC say? The ISQC one also stipulates every audit firm to accept and continue any engagement where the audit firm has the capacity to execute. That is, you must not accept any audit engagement where the audit firm does not have capacity and capability to execute. This is the example here. It means that maybe you are a small audit size firm, then you that have a staff turnover of about 100, for example. No, staff turnover of about 10 to 20. You now get an engagement to come and audit NNPC. So in this regard, that NNPC work is far beyond the capacity of that particular firm, because your staff turnover is just 10 or 20 and you got an engagement to come and audit firm. Can you deliver as at the time being? Can you ensure that you deliver and you have all the capacity and capability to handle the job? No. So, in order to reduce the risk of expressing correct opinion, ISQC1 now stipulate that all audit firms should accept and continue any engagement that the audit firm has the capacity and capability to execute. You must not be small audit firm or small size audit firm and you said you want to go and audit NNPC. or a very multinational big company that you know that you cannot deliver as at when due. So if you accept that kind of opinion, you know that you cannot cover. If you accept that kind of engagement, rather, you cannot cover the whole area because the staff that you want to use for that particular assignment, they are small compared to the kind of the tax you are expected to what to face. So ISQC1 now stipulate that an organization or an audit firm should accept and continue any engagement where the audit firm has the capacity and capability to execute. If you cut your that is, they are just saying that cut your cloth according to your size. So if you accept a small engagement, so you'll be able to put in your best, and by doing that, it will help you reduce the risk of expressing correct opinion rather than go and collect a very large engagement that you know that you cannot execute within time being. So if you do that, you definitely express incorrect opinion because you don't have the capacity and capability to handle that particular project. So in order for you to reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion as a firm, ISKC one now stipulate that the organization or the audit firm should accept and continue any engagement where he has the capacity and capability to what to execute. Please, are we following? Clap for me now. Are you not enjoying the class? Okay. So let us proceed. Documentation. Documentation is part of quality control procedure that a firm must follow. So how does documentation help in putting good quality control for the firm? So ISQC1, don't forget, anytime you want to write, you must make reference to ISQC1. That is International Standard on Quality Control 1. Stipulate that all audit firm must document the evidences gathered in every audit engagement. Documentation here, according to ISQC1, stipulate that audit firm must have a standard way of documenting all the evidences collected during any audit engagement. By having good or standard way of documenting evidences, in the case of any error or or any legal suit that a client want to sue the company for, you have something to show for it that this is what we collect as an evidence. This is how we document it. That is why they said in practice, you have to keep the information of your client for at least 5 years. That is why you see that one of the elements of financial statement, they said 5 years financial summary. That is the information of your client for the past 5 years, you should be able to keep it. So immediately after that 5 years, that that documentation is now audit bad. That is, you cannot make reference to it again. But at least from last 5 years to the current year, you should be able to keep the document of the evidences you gather in every audit engagement and document it in a very special So according to ISQC1, it stipulates that every audit firm must have a standard and special way of documenting every evidence collected during any audit engagement. So by doing that, you are ensuring good quality control procedure for the firm. Please, are we following? Are we following, please? I can't see emoji again. Okay, so let us proceed. Human resources. How does human resources now help in establishing good quality control for the firm? If you want to write, you must make reference again. In accordance with ISQC1, it stipulates that all audit firm must hire a staff, must hire staff that have good professional competence and due care. That is, an organization must be able to have good human resources, that is to hire a very special, skilled and competent staff to handle any audit engagement. That is the responsibility of the audit firm to put in place good human resources managers in order for them to hire a very skilled, talented, competent staff to handle any audit engagement. So, in accordance with ISQC 1, it stipulates every audit firm to have a good human resources person in order for them to hire a very special, competent, skilled and experienced staff to handle any audit engagement. So by putting in place a very standard and competent staff in any audit engagement is going to help that particular organization to reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. Please, are we following? That is that about. Yes, I'm not moving the screen because I'm just explaining. So there's no need to move the screen. I just want to explain everything you need to. You need to understand from this place. So we just move to the next one. So I've explained the meaning of human resources. Now, engagement performance. Engagement performance. This one has to do with review of our work, review of any audit work. Engagement performance, that is the work that you do. The organization must have this special quality control of ensuring that the audit work done by particular team is being reviewed by another team to ensure the risk of expressing correct opinion. So engagement performance in accordance with international standard on quality control 1, it stipulate that every audit firm must have an engagement performance review to review the work of or to review every audit assurance engagement in order to reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. So this engagement performance is a way of reviewing or rechecking the audit engagement, the work that one team has done. So after every audit engagement, then the account has been prepared and it has been audited. Before the account is signed by the auditor, then the account must be reviewed by some special people to ensure that all the accounting policy and the procedure put in place to audit the financial statement is correct. So by another person reviewing it, it ensures that the organization is into good quality control. Then in turn, it's going to help reduce the risk of expressing correct opinion. So this engagement performance, in accordance with ISQC 1, stipulate that every audit firm must have a special way of reviewing the engagement performed by by their organization or by the firm in order to reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. If you notice from the beginning of this quality control for the firm, all my explanation have been linking it that ISQC 1 stipulate the firm, because we are talking about the quality control for the firm. ISQC 1 stipulate, recommend that the firm must follow this following element in order to ensure good quality control. So after I explain the meaning of engagement performance, that is to ensure good strategies of reviewing the engagement performance of every team member by the firm, that is the firm must put in place a strategies to review every engagement performed by its staff in order to reduce the risk of expressing correct opinion. Now, the last one is monitoring. Monitoring. That is, ISQC 1 also stipulate that all audit firm or an audit firm must put in place a strategies and procedure to check the activities of what of its engagement um staff. That is, the audit firm must ensure that they have proper way of monitoring and tracking the progress of every audit engagement. So by doing that, it's going to alarm and alert and make every individual on every audit assignment to step up their game, to be on their toes that, oh, after all this work, oh, there's someone that is monitoring us and there's someone that is going to check our work. So monitoring as one of the elements of quality control for the firm in accordance with ISQC 1, it stipulates that an organization or an audit firm must put in place a standard way of monitoring the um the performance or the work of every staff on any engagement. So by doing that, the organization is ensuring that they have put in place a proper monitoring procedure to monitor the engagement and to track the progress of every audit and assurance engagement. By doing that, they are ensuring good quality control procedure, and in turn is going to help them reduce the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. Please, is there anyone that does not understand dis 7 as I try to explain dis thing one by one? So if you understand dat, don't forget the quality control procedure for the firm is stipulated and regulated by ISQC 1. Now the other one, which is quality control for an individual, we said that one is stipulated and regulated by ISA 220. So what does ISA 220 say? If you remember my definition from these two quality control, I said one is controlled by the firm, one is controlled by an individual engagement. So this number 2, which is quality control for individual engagement, is under the firm. This is, let me explain to you. The company call you, the company call you that, oh, Idris, you will be the team lead of this particular engagement. That is, the firm has put in place quality control to ensure that the firm has put in place a standard quality control procedure to be followed by you, which is the team lead of that particular engagement, to ensure that you put in place good quality control as stipulated by the firm. Now, what are the things you need to do also to follow the procedure on quality control that have been laid down by the firm? That is, this one now be like the number 1 is responsibility. The first one is one of the, so if you understand this first 7 for the firm very well, for an individual, it's going to be very, very simple. This is what I'm saying in essence. The leadership responsibility for quality, that is for the firm. So now you still see leadership responsibility for quality for an individual, that is, as the team lead, as the partner or the manager in charge of every engagement or every assurance engagement. What is your leadership responsibility that you must put in place to ensure that you put your leadership responsibility for on that particular engagement, to ensure that good quality control are put in place by you, because you are the team lead, you are the manager in charge of that particular engagement. You know, you are following the laid down principle of the firm as we explained. That is, the ISQC 1 says that the firm must put in place all these things to ensure quality control. So as an individual, you also extract from the policy that the company has put in place to ensure good quality control. So Kayode, please, you have the floor. Please, quickly, you have the floor, please. You raise up your hand.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, please, I just want to confirm something, or maybe you can assist to throw more light on this quality control for the firm. Let's take, for example, now, a set of audit units now. We are given a task to audit a firm now, and you as a junior, like you're a junior staff of that audit firm now. Can you give an advice to your clients based on something that you felt that as in during that audit process? Is it possible for you as a junior staff now to give an advice to your client directly, or you have to report that observation to the team lead before such can be communicated to the client?
Yes, you need to communicate to your team lead. That's where we talk about leadership responsibility. You, as the team member, and you are not the team lead, cannot just stand up that you want to go and advise the client. It is wrong. So it is someone that will lead that engagement. That is, you have, it might be your, like, you are of the same rank, but because he's the team lead on that particular engagement, all other any observation must be channeled to that team lead. Then the team lead will now in turn put it in the management letter for the organization to respond and to make proper correction. So as a team member, that you are not the team lead or the manager in charge of the particular engagement, you cannot advise the client. I hope you understand
Okay,
what
sir.
I'm
Yeah. Thank you.
saying. So any other question before I proceed? Any question, please? Okay. Shedrack, please, you have the floor.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay. Mine is not really a question, but I just want to get a clarification because on this particular paper you're teaching, because I don't know
Right.
whether is advanced audit assurance and forensic, or is still maintaining the name,
This
because
has been explained before now. So the aspect of forensic is has already been incorporated. You can meet your mic, please. Has already been incorporated in this advanced audit and assurance, which is in I think in chapter 11 or so. So they just add that forensic to the people in skills, because you need to know the basis of that forensic from skills before you now meet it in professional. So the syllabus in professional does not capture that. They did not include it in professional because it has already been there before. It was added to skills. So if you understand that one very well, it's only the weight of the engagement that was changed here. The weight of the engagement was changed in professional. That is, some parts of the syllabus were increased so that they can increase the question they are going to ask in that particular area, and they also reduce some parts so that to give room for other area to ask more questions. So the aspect of forensic is not in professional, it is in skills. I hope I am clear now.
yes, you're
Are we
clear, sir.
clear now?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Any other question? Any other question, please? So now, let us proceed. Okay, let us proceed. Now, quality control procedure for an individual engagement. So let us read through. He said, these are control that are put in place by the engagement partner, which is the team lead, here are set out in international standard on auditing, which is ISA 220. ISA 220. The ISA apply the general principle of ISQC. That's what I was explaining, that this thing was in for statement. Please, can you hear me, please? Please let me see your emoji if you can hear me, please. Okay. So, however, ISA 220 states the objective of auditor is to implement the good quality control procedure that provide the auditor with reasonable assurance that one, the audit complies with professional standard and applicable what? Applicable legal and regulatory requirements. And the other one, the auditor report issue is appropriate in the circumstance. So what we are saying in essence that everything we are going to be doing here, it relates to the team lead of that particular job. If now the firm has put in place quality control, that the aspect of leadership responsibility for control. So now for an individual, from that responsibility that the audit firm, when we explaining that, we said leadership, that is ISQC1 stipulate and recommend that firm the responsibility of ensuring good quality control is charged with people is charged with the people in charge of governance of that particular organization. So who are the people in charge of governance? They are the management partner, the senior partner, or the directors, as the case may be in the organization. They are responsible to give leadership responsibility. They are the one to ensure that they put in place proper quality control for the firm in order to help reduce the risk of expressing correct opinion. So leadership responsibility here now says that under an individual now says that you as a team lead, as the manager in charge of that particular engagement, you are to ensure, you are to take overall responsibility you are responsible for the overall responsibility for ensuring good quality control in the engagement you are asked to what to do. That is, this place the responsibility for key quality control matter on the engagement partner, that is on you as the team lead or the manager or the engagement partner of that particular engagement. The engagement partner has the responsibility for overall quality of the overall quality of the what? Of the audit. What we are saying here in essence is that the quality control for an individual, that is you as a team lead, you have the responsibility of ensuring good quality control because you are the team lead of that particular engagement. So the overall responsibility for quality control is placed in your hand, and if anything goes wrong, you will be held responsible. So you have the responsibility in accordance with ISA 220, which is quality control for an individual engagement. Under leadership responsibility, the ISA 220 hand of the what? Of the engagement partner or the team lead that is handling the particular engagement. Please, are we following for the leadership responsibility under ISA 220? Now, the ethical requirement, which is, if you understand the ethical requirement for the first one, that the firm and the ISQC1 stipulate and recommend that the firm must ensure that they follow the ethical requirement and principle that guide any audit engagement. That by doing that, they are ensuring that they are put in place quality control. That is, all the ethical, regulatory and requirements needed for particular engagement is that is, the team lead must ensure that those ethical requirement and responsibility are properly
Please, can any other person here, or it's only my network? I don't know.
I'm going to remove
You're not the
it.
only one.
I know you're not me.
Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can anybody hear me? Please, Abiodun, I need to say this again. Please, we are all professional here. We are all learned person here. If you do not understand anything, please kindly put it in the chat box. It is not proper for you to be giving me top down. It is very, very bad. So, I will say it again. Under this part, now we are talking about the quality control for an individual engagement. We are talking about the quality control for an individual engagement. So now we have leadership responsibility, which I've explained. That is the responsibility for ensuring good quality control is placed in the hand of what? Is placed in the hand of the management partner or the engagement partner or the team lead that is handling that particular engagement. That is, the responsibility of ensuring good quality control is placed in your hand as an engagement partner. So, the ethical requirement. The ethical requirement, according to ISA 220, hold that throughout the engagement partner shall remain alert to observation and making inquiry as necessary for evidence of non-compliance with relevant ethical requirements by members of the engagement team. That is here, they are telling us that according to ISA 220 on ethical requirements, that is the engagement partner or the engagement partner or the team lead is charged with the responsibility of ensuring that the ethical requirement for the audit of financial statement of a particular organization is thoroughly observed by the engagement team. That is, your team member, you have to ensure that your team member follow the ethical requirement for that particular audit engagement. So the first one, for their excuses addressing to the firm, why this ISA 220 is addressing to the team lead or the engagement partner. I hope we understand. Please, are we following? Okay. So now, haven't we said that under this, so you have to ensure that all relevant information are obtained. You have to take proper action to eliminate any threat, to reduce any risk of expressing correct opinion. So let us proceed. Acceptance and continuance of audit engagement. Yeah, I know some people will ask me that, is it the responsibility of the engagement partner? You know, if you understand, if you are actually following, I explained under ISQC 1 for acceptance and continuance of audit engagement that is that under ISQC 1 is stipulate and recommend that audit firm should accept and continue any engagement where he has capacity and capability to execute. It is the same thing here. That is, you, the engagement partner, if you know that, oh, this engagement they give to me, maybe I don't have any experience about it before, I've not done it before, or I don't have any first-hand information to execute this particular project, you must not accept it. You should let another engagement partner who have experience in that kind of such engagement or has done that any kind of engagement that relate to that new engagement they gave to you, you should let the person handle it. For example, if you are the audit partner that you have been auditing this oil and gas industry before for a very long time, so you just got an engagement where you want to go and audit an hospitality management, an hospitality industry, or industry that are into or service industry, like all those consultancy firm or hospitality, like big hotel. So, and you don't have engagement experience there. So the quality control for an individual engagement states that in accordance with ISA 220, that is that you, the engagement partner, you should not take any engagement where you don't have resources and capability to execute. Resources in the sense that maybe you don't have the experience, and the capability to execute, maybe you don't have enough audit team or enough team to execute that particular project. So you as an engagement partner, you must not accept or continue any engagement where you do not have capacity and capability to execute. That is in accordance with ISA 220. So if you understand for that first one, that is, the firm must not take any engagement or continue any engagement where the firm does not have capability and capacity to execute. So as an individual, which is the audit, the management partner, you should not take also any engagement that you should not accept or continue any engagement that you don't have resources and capability to execute. That is in accordance with ISA 220. Please, are we following? Hello? Are we following, please? Okay. That one will take us to the fourth one there, which is engagement performance. Engagement performance. That is also in accordance with ISA 220. We talk about review in the aspect of ISQC1 that we explained before for the firm. It's still the same thing here. That is, for engagement performance, the quality control procedure applied to the conduct of each individual engagement will be based on the effective management of the audit team working on the engagement. This, however, involves direction. That is, for engagement performance under ISA 220, it says that under the audit engagement, under the engagement performance by the engagement partner, you are charged with the responsibility to ensure that the engagement performance is scheduled in the following way. You are to direct, that is, the direction of audit tasks is the responsibility of the engagement partner for the audit. That is, you are to direct all your team members to do particular assignments or to do particular sections in every audit engagement. By doing this, it's going to help the organization in putting in place good standard quality control, and also help the organization in reducing the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. So under that engagement performance, we have the second one, which is supervision. That is, after you have directed all of them, you also need to supervise your audit team. This is a continuous monitoring of all the staff by engagement partner. If you continue monitoring your engagement partner, your engagement team by that is, the engagement partner must be able to continuously monitoring the team member on the assignment given to them throughout the audit engagement, to ensure that they track the progress of any audit work, monitor to ascertain whether the team member understand the instruction. You also monitor to know if the team member are carrying out their tasks in line with the audit plan. Then, among other, you also monitor to know if the team member have sufficient time to carry out their work. So, if you direct first under engagement performance, it is placed in your responsibility to direct all your team members Then second one is to supervise, that is to monitor the audit engagement in order for you to track the progress of the audit, to maintain, to ascertain whether the team member understand their instruction, then to know if the team member is carrying out their tasks in line with the audit plan. These are among others what you need to do as the engagement partner while you are doing while you are doing your engagement performance. The first one we talk about is direction. The second one is supervision. Then let us move to the third one. The third one talks about the review of audit work. So after you have direct and you supervise, then the third one is to review. How do you review your audit work? This is another good quality control that is put together as an individual acting alone, as stipulated by ISA 220. It states that every engagement partner must review the work of its team member. By doing that, you are ensuring that you are putting in place good quality control, and also is going to help in reducing the risk of expressing incorrect opinion. Review has to do with cross-examination of audit work that has been carried out by audit engagement team. So after you have direct and you have monitor to supervise, then you also review the work of your team member. By doing that, you are ensuring that you are putting in place good quality control, and also you are also ensuring that you want to reduce the risk of expressing an incorrect audit opinion. Please, are we following, my dear professional colleague? Is it entering? Are we understanding the concept one by one? So if you understand, you'll be able to proceed. So don't forget, we are still under performance engagement as one of the quality control procedure that must put in place by an individual engagement as stipulated by ISA 220. So under this review of work, we have peer review. What do we mean by peer review? This is a review carried out by partner in the same assurance firm. That is, maybe we have Mr. Idris, which is in audit department. Mr. Abdulrazak Sulaiman is in audit department. Miss Fatima Ahmed is in audit department. So if Mr. Idris is the engagement partner for this particular job, peer review means that I have to give my the account to Mr. Abdulrazak Sulaiman or Miss Fatima Ahmed to review for me. That is peer review. That is the review carried out by a partner in the same assurance firm or department. That is in the same audit department. That is peer review. Now, engagement quality control review. This is also part of peer review. That is review that is performed before audit report is signed. So after audit work, engagement quality control review state that before me, I'm the team lead, I'm the engagement partner of that particular assignment. Before I sign on the opinion page, the audit report page, I have to give the account to either Mr. Sulaiman or Miss Fatima to review for me. If you review that, then I cannot sign. That is that is you are ensuring engagement quality control review. That is a peer review, a type of peer review that is done by the assurance partner before audit report is being signed. Please, do we understand that one? Please, do we understand? Now, let's go the audit review. What do we understand by audit review? This is type of review carried out by another partner in the firm. Don't forget, I said the peer review is type of review performed by a partner in the same department. Why audit review? It is the review of audit engagement by another partner, but in the same firm. Maybe partner in tax department or partner in the legal department, or partner in the account department. You give your account for them to review. That is what we call audit review. You are not in the same department, but you are in the same company. That is audit review. Code review. Who is saying my screen is not visible? Are you not seeing the screen? Probably it's your network, because the screen is perfectly showing you well. Please, can you all see my screen? Okay, now the last part of the review is code review. What do we understand by code review? This is the type of review carried out by another partner in the firm after the audit report has been signed. That is, this is the review carried out by another partner in the firm after the audit report has been signed. So, code review is saying that this type of review that is carried out by another partner of the firm after the audit report has been signed. So, these are the 4 type of review under performance engagement. Don't forget, for quality control procedure for the firm, we have 7, which is we have leadership responsibility for control, we have ethical requirement, we have acceptance and continuous engagement, we have documentation, we have human resources, we have engagement performance, and we have monitoring. So that is accordance with International Standard on Quality Control 1 for the firm. Now, for the individual, it is stipulated by ISA 220. We have leadership responsibility. 2, we have acceptance and continuous engagement. 3, and we have performance engagement. So under the performance engagement, we now have another 3 to 4 areas. First of all, we have supervision. You need to supervise. You need to direct, rather. You direct your team lead, your team member to do particular section or assignment of any audit engagement. Now, supervision, you monitor the progress, you monitor your team member in order for you to track the progress of audit, to know whether your team lead or your team member understand the instruction given to them, and to monitor and track, or to ascertain whether the team member are doing what they're supposed to do. Then the last one is to review. Then this review is to cross-examine what you have done or what your team member has done on that particular engagement. So how can you cross-examine? We have 4 ways. We have peer review, we have engagement quality control review, we have audit review, and code review. So these are the ways of putting in place good quality control by an individual as stipulated by ISA 220. So now that one, the one we've been talking about since, has been explicitly channeled on the quality control that must put in place by either the audit firm or the individual engagement. So now we are moving to another aspect of that practice management, which is changing in professional appointment. I'm going to be fast here, so hopefully you can finish this chapter. So by Friday, we can now do the review, or by Friday, we can just continue. So by 9 o'clock, I'm going to stop so that we can all rest. Now, changes in professional appointment. If you understand what we've been explaining from the beginning, the practice management, the quality control, to the element of quality control, which is in accordance with ISQC1 for the firm, and quality control by an individual engagement as stipulated by ISA 220. Then we've explained every element under each of the 2 types of quality control. Now, changes in professional appointment. Okay, Adebayo, let me see. Okay, you have the floor. Please, quickly.
Okay, thank
You
you.
have the
Well,
floor.
well done, sir. Okay. My question is just this. You know, when it comes to the firm or the auditor, we mentioned you mentioned ISQC1. So I was
Okay.
expecting that for us to have one, probably there is two for that ISQC2 will be for individual. Then
No.
CPT is for is ISA 220. I don't know.
So,
Is
do you
still
know the accounting standard? Do you understand what when they say something is accounting standard?
yes.
That is, those are the standard that you must follow in preparation and presentation of financial statements, right?
Yes, sir.
So, and you know that all those standard does not follow one by one. I can remember we have IS1, we have IS2, then we have IS7, which is cash flow, IS8, Abi, we have
Yes.
IS11, like that. So now, the standard that talks about the quality control for the firm is ISQC1. Why for an individual is International Standard of Auditing, which is ISA 220. I'm not sure you are getting me.
Yes, I get you. It's
So
fine.
the standard does not really mean that because the ISQC1 talks about for the firm, the ISQC2 must talk about the firm. It does not that one does not is not applicable here. So the one that talks about the individual engagement is ISA 220.
All right,
While
sir.
the standard that talks about for the firm is International Standard on Quality Control 1. If you check this material very well, we have ISQC standard about 1 to 10. So, and each of them talks about different aspects of an assurance engagement. So the one that relates to the particular topic at hand is ISQC1 for the firm.
All
Can
right,
I
sir.
proceed now?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right. So let us proceed. Now, we have substantially explained the quality control and practice management for the firm and for an individual engagement. So we're now moving to another part, which is changing in professional appointment. This one is nothing other than the circumstances that can warrant an organization not to continue with the auditor that have been auditing their company before. So that is just what we want to discuss about here. What are the occurrence things that can make an organization not to continue with their auditor, that, oh, we don't want this auditor again, we want to appoint another auditor? What are the circumstances? That is what we want to talk about under changes in professional appointment. So let us go. Audit firm or auditor may be asked to accept a new audit engagement. This will occur where the previous auditor will not be reappointed. This may be as a result. So the following can be the result of changing in professional appointment. One, if the audit firm is too small to cope with the client expanding demand, that is, where the audit firm is a small size audit firm, but the client is a big size organization, and they want to expand, they want to buy more company, they want to take over, they want to do merger and acquisition, but they know that in that aspect they need a very small, a medium size or big size audit firm to audit our company now, because of the expansion or the policies we are about to embark on. So we might just decide that we don't want this auditor again. Let us look for another audit firm that they are more high. Maybe they are using one small audit firm, maybe ABC. You now find out that, oh, maybe Apex Consulting Limited or KPMG is this a big audit firm that can help us to audit our account because of the expansion. So we might not want to appoint ABC and Co chartered accountant again. We want to go to KPMG to be our auditor. So That's one of the circumstances that might warrant an auditor not to be reappointed again. One, if the firm is too small to cope with the client expanding demand. Two, where where there is a change in board of director. Maybe the board of director of the company, another new set of board of director just came in. They can decide, because they are the one in charge of appointing an auditor. They can decide that we don't want this auditor, change the auditor. So due to changes in client board of director, maybe when there's persist or lack independence, maybe the organization just perceive that this audit firm, they have been the one that have been auditing our firm for the past 10 years, and there's no how there will be threat to professional independence, because they know some staff, some managers, or some directors in the organization that can influence their decision. So let us bring in fresh audit firm that these our people will not be familiar with. When there is perceived lack of independence, there can be change in professional appointment. When there have been a loss of confidence in the old audit firm, maybe they just feel like because this audit firm has been with us since, it's high time to change them, because we might not place total reliance on the opinion they will be giving us on this financial statement, because they have been with us for a very long time. When there is loss of confidence in the old audit team, there can be change in professional appointment. Then lastly, there may be disagreement between the auditors between the directors and the old audit firm. Maybe the directors, they have the disagreement with the directors that maybe do like this, the audit firm did not do like that, they don't want to do. So the director can decide to change the audit firm. So these are the circumstances that might warrant change in professional appointment. That is where an auditor cannot be reappointed again. These are circumstances. Please, do we understand the way I just explained all these things like this? Okay. So now, these changes in professional appointment goes with the old auditor, and the circumstances that can warrant the previous auditor not to continue with professional appointments. So now, you are now the new audit firm now that they want to give the work to. What are the things you need to put in place before you can accept new audit appointment? So the first one now has covered the circumstances that might warrant an organization not to appoint the auditor again. So this one now, these are the procedure you need to follow as new audit firm before you accept any audit appointment. So let's go. Before accepting any appointment, the firm should take the following step. One, you should assess whether there are any professional problem attached to accept the audit engagement. You have to assess and find out whether if you accept this engagement, if it is attached with any professional problem, maybe there's been a lawsuit by the company, maybe the company is matter is in the court, any problem at all, you need to find out that I hope this company is not into any professional problem, that before I can accept the engagement, it is the firm or the auditor that's going to determine that. You need to find out if there's any professional problem attaching to the accepting of the engagement. If there is, you're advised not to take up the job, but if there's not, you can proceed. Then secondly, you assess whether there are adequate resources to complete the audit task. You assess yourself if you have the resources, the capacity and capability to execute the audit task. You need to assess yourself before you accept any new audit appointment. The third one, the firm should carry out client screening. You should be able to find out more about the client, what they do, the type of operation they do, their year-end and everything. You need to do client screening before you accept any new audit appointment. Then the last one, the new audit firm is to conduct a professional inquiry on its proposed clients. The audit firm should communicate with the existing auditor if there are issues of importance to discuss. That is, the new auditor must communicate with the existing auditor by sending them a clearance letter. So that clearance letter is a letter that is sent by the new auditor to the old auditor to find out if there's no any professional issues that need to be addressed before accepting the engagement. Maybe in the case that the client is owing the old auditor, before you as a new auditor, before you can take over the appointment, you need to issue a clearance letter to the old auditor to find out that I hope they are not owing you any money. I hope there's no issue. So if the old auditor saying that, oh, this client is owing us, so you have to ensure that the client pay that all the money they are owing the old auditor before you can accept the new engagement. So these are the procedure you need to follow before accepting new audit appointment. Please, are we following? Hello? Are we following, please? Okay, so happy to explain that. Happy to understand that. So this ABCD is, however, further explained downward. So when you are reading, you can read through. So I just want us to at least finish this chapter to some extent. So these are the circumstances that can warrant. These are the things that you need to put in place before you accept new audit engagement. On unpaid fees. So if there's unpaid fee by the communicate with the current auditor, that is, you as the new auditor, you need to communicate with the old auditor to find out if they did not owe them money or anything. So that is one of the things you need to do. Then unpaid fee. If there's any element of unpaid fee, they've not been paying the audit fee for the previous auditor, you need to find out about that and ensure that they pay before you accept any engagement. Then confidentiality, that is, the prospective auditor is expected to treat in confidence any information provided by the existing auditor. That is, before you can accept it, you need to be confidential about all the information shared to you by the old auditor. You must not go and be broadcasting what the old auditor told you about the client. If client told you anything about the new auditor, if the old auditor tell you about the new client you're about to take over, make it confidential. Don't go and be saying it out to the third party around you. Then defamation. The existing auditor may communicate some damaging matter of its client to any individual connected to the client. Where is the case, the auditor will have a strong measure of protection against defamation liability. That is, if the old auditor told you that, oh, this company, they are into bad this thing like money laundering or anything. So you as the current auditor, you need to make sure that you protect yourself against defamation liability. Should in case if there's any damages, you already protect yourself. So these are the things among other you need to put in place before you accept any new appointment. Then in the case of joint auditor, you need to nominate where a firm or auditor is nominated for joint audit. The auditor is expected to communicate with all other auditors so as to guide by similar principles. So if the audit is joint audit, you need to communicate with all other auditors in that particular engagement so as to be guided by the similar principle. Then client books and record, that is, once you have accepted or once you have accepted to take up the new offer, the client books and record, then you have to so the old auditor, you have to ensure that you collect the record of the client from the old auditor. So for example, it is company ABC that have been auditing this particular company. So they want to give it to B, company B now. It was company A that we are auditing the company, the client before. So they now want to give it to B. So after you have go through all the necessary steps you need to go through, then the aspect of books and record, you have to ensure that you collect all the books and record, the information of the client. You collect all from the old auditor, which is company A. You need to collect all the client books of record and account from the old auditor after you have accepted the offer. I hope we understand. So these are the things, the procedure we have to follow, or the things that we have to put in place, before we accept any new appointment. Please, are we following, please? Are we following? Okay, so let us stop here so that by Friday we'll continue from where we stop. This is already now. I know that some people will have another class. So in order for me not to disrupt your class, so we are going to stop here. So by Friday we'll continue from obtaining and charging for professional work. Please let us read very, very well. Like I said, we have not done anything, no, because as we enter this chapter 5, this is where the exam is now becoming more tough and tough every time. And also, don't forget that everything we've been doing, we are only teaching ourselves what to write. So the other part that cannot be underemphasized also is how to write. So thank you, everybody. Adebayo, do you have a question before we go? Please, quickly. You raise up your hand, please, quickly, so that we can end this class.
All right, sir. Thank you. Okay, I just want to ask that, like, we have been talking about how the old auditor and the new auditor to communicate so that there's a. So my question is just that, as the existing auditor is leaving, is there a formal way of disengaging the existing auditor, even regardless of what could have caused the disengagement? Is there a formal way? Like a company cannot just by word, I don't know. If there's
Yes, auditor is appointed at every general meeting, annual general meeting every year. So that is where an auditor will be appointed. And in the same way, where auditor will be removed, where they will remove, it is at annual general meeting. Because at every annual general meeting, auditor must be present. So it is there they just hand over the note to you, or they will have sent it to you before the annual general meeting that we don't wish to continue. We don't wish you to continue being our auditor. They will serve you letter to inform you that you will not be their auditor again. So, but and if you notice this thing must have been has been taken care of as one of the procedure, or as one of the things that can cause changes in professional appointment. So they will definitely write you, not that they just say it verbally. They might write you before the annual general meeting and you come for the annual general meeting. There they will state it that, oh, we don't wish to continue, based on the letter we sent you, we don't wish to continue with you being our auditor. So that is it. There's no proper way other than that. So after that, they are going to send the notice of termination of appointment to the bodies in charge of that particular industries, that this particular auditor is no longer our auditor. I hope you understand now, Mr. Adebayo.
Very clear. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Okay, so next week we are going to continue from obtaining and charging for professional work. So thank you, everybody, for staying through. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to read very well. So the YouTube is there for us to read. So thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Thank you and good night, sir.
Thank you. Good night, sir.
Good night.